Hi, I'm Stefan Aarnio, and this video is about Stefan Aarnio. Now, I'm not saying that as an egotistical thing or a thing where I like to talk about myself, but people Google me all the time, so I want to get it straight. So who is Stefan Aarnio? Author of 3 books. I got some books here, written some books, but that doesn't really matter to you or buy you a cup of coffee. My story is simple. I was a real estate investor, got into real estate investing about age 22, but my dream really started with wanting to be a rock star when I was 16. Now, you gotta excuse me, I was at the office last night till about midnight. I'm analyzing the last 100 real estate deals that I did. Here's all the final numbers. And got a bit of a beard right now. I normally don't have a beard, but I'm here to talk to you about who I am, what my story is. And when I was 16, I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to be rich, I wanted to be famous. And I started, telling my mom and dad, Mom, Dad, I want to be rich, I want to be famous, I want to be a rock star. Of course they say, no, that's a bad idea. But my mom says, hey, why don't you go to music school? Musicians, you need to have a degree, she says, just to mitigate you against the world if you can't be a rock star. So I go to music school, I graduate from university, I go to music school, graduate from high school and go to the university. And I hated the university, man. I hated it so much. I still don't really like the university very much. It's kind of a backwards place. But with that being said, I dropped out of music, then I dropped out of computer science, and I dropped out of one more thing, business school. And then I finished with a major in English and a minor in music. I went and did some poetry classes, they gave me a degree. And when I graduated, like a lot of young people, now I'm a millennial, I'm born in 1986, and with being born in 1986, when I graduated in 2008, what I found is there's no jobs for people who have, regular degrees from regular school, unless you're a specialist or you're some sort of trade, like a doctor or a lawyer, which I consider trades, I guess professions. There's nothing for you. So my first job out of school was working in a call center in the middle of the night for $10 an hour. And I thought, wow, there's got to be more to life than this. This really sucks. I was at home living at my mom's house. I was teaching guitar, making about 10 grand a year teaching guitar. And I started looking for answers. I had a rock band at the time. That was my business. And that rock band started to fall apart. I ran out of energy. I was writing all the songs, doing all the work. I was a musician. Anyways, got out of that. And I went and read a little book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad changed my mind, opened my mind up to all the possibilities of real estate. And what I learned from reading that book, Robert Kiyosaki, who I owe lots of success to, what Robert taught me was, it's all about passive income. This game is about passive income. And so, you got to build a business, create passive income, and that's how people get rich. And anybody can get rich. So I love the message. I love the idea. I saved up all my money. And I remember I went to my very first real estate seminar, and it was a Donald Trump real estate seminar weekend thing that he was doing. And I signed up $1,500. That's how much my first seminar was. It took all my money, and I went home, and my mom, at her house, she said I paid too much. I went to my dad's house. They're divorced. So I went to my dad's house, and he said, you're never going to buy a property, and this is never going to work for you, and you're never going to get funding. And even if you get funding, nobody is going to believe in you, and the bank's going to come and take your mortgage away, and you're going to be on the street, and you're going to be broke. So I heard that story. It's very, 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 very negative story. So sometimes you got to go to your mom's house to hear the negativity, go to your dad's house to hear the negativity. That's the nature of family sometimes. So I go out there and I start, reading lots of books. I write books today for people who are like me, who want to learn how to do this. And so I was reading books, going to seminars. I put myself into a lot of debt at the beginning. And then, things changed for me when I got a real estate coach. And when I hired a coach, he turned me around and he taught me how to really, really raise money. That's what this book here, the $5 Million book, is about. It's about the thing my coach said to me, which is, Stefan, you need to get $5 million, $3 to $5 million, and start working with rich people to make this real estate thing a real business. Because I was an amateur. I had a bunch of rental properties at that point. But that book's all about raising money. And then my story, meeting that mentor, meeting that coach, is all in this book, Self-Made. And some people see this self-made and they go, oh, Stefan's bragging about being self-made. It's not what it's about. First page in the book says, hey, you know, it's not about being self-made, it's about your spirit of being self-made, because no team, no committee, no group of people can make you successful like you can. You have to choose success. That's what self-made means. And I went out and started flipping houses, you know, did tons of deals. Here's a portfolio of a bunch of deals. And then the next thing that happened is because I won some awards, I got my awards up there, Rich Dad International Hall of Fame, there's a joint venture 2012, there's an entrepreneur award 2013, got some awards, big deal. People started, they started seeing me published in magazines. Here's a magazine article I'm published in. That was in 2012. And when that started to happen, the phone started to ring. And suddenly people started calling me. They said, Steph, will you coach me? Will you help me? Will you teach me? Will you mentor me? And at first I said no. You know, I said, I'm busy doing deals. I'm busy doing deals, man. I don't have time for coaching you. But the calls kept coming. So I started coaching people for free. Kind of like Mother Teresa. I said, I'll just coach you, man. I spent so much time, so much money learning this. Let me help you. But what happened was the people didn't show up to the sessions and they didn't show up or do their homework. So I kept getting the calls, and finally I started charging for coaching. I started charging significant money. People started getting significant results. And now today I have an accidental coaching company. Here's a bunch of students here I'm analyzing right now to see who is successful here and who's not. And with the coaching, it's interesting because the houses, it doesn't matter how many houses you do, how much money you make. When you die, the houses don't show up to your funeral. But when you change people's lives in this folder and you help them get what they want, that's a real purpose. So I've been bitten by the purpose bug, the mission bug, and I love training, coaching, and helping people because it's really interesting. And I was out in Costa Rica in 2017, right at the end of the year. It's 2018 as I shoot this. And I was thinking about my life and I realized, I built this training company for my dad. And my dad actually works for me now in the acquisitions department. He just started. And my parents divorced years ago because my dad didn't make enough money. He was an entrepreneur. He wasn't very good. He didn't make a lot of money. And my mother, who made much more money than him, divorced him. And that's what women do. I don't want to make a sexist judgment here, but if you're a man, you don't make as much money as your woman, or if you're not even close, that's going to happen to you. So my dad, I got to see him begging on his knees. I got to see him crying and begging for a second chance. She laughed at him. I got to see it as a 17-year-old, young man. And that whole process for me, seeing that, and watching my dad's business fail and watching that whole thing there made me go into learning and education really hard for myself so that I could provide for myself. I could provide for my family. I could provide for other people. And so I've built this coaching company, this training company for my dad. And it's an honor to have him now. He's working with me here side by side every day. It's pretty cool. Sometimes I am like his dad and I have to shape him up. But that's what life's about, is helping the people that you can help. And sometimes you can't help everybody, you can't save everybody, but if any of what I'm saying today makes sense to you, reach out to me, because I'm helping people all the time. And sometimes people want to do deals, they want to do all these things, and I've got the program for you if you decide that this is something you want to do. I'm definitely the guy that can help you. So it worked for me, it worked for my family. It's worked for several other people's families. And if it's something that you want to do, let's do it. So I'm Stefan Aarnio, guys. Thanks for coming to visit me. I hope you learned something about me and what I do. And let's work together if that's what you're about. Respect the grind. I'll see you when I see you on the next video. Bye-bye.